Alright guys, we got the Nicot stripped down. Everybody's been kind of asking to see what this bike is really made of. So I have some details to go over. We got the fixed up CR125 OEM look going. So this here, we got the Nicot stripped down. We were having some repeated problems with the Speedo here, kind of clicking in and out. Now we definitely found there was some pulled out wires out of the connectors in here, so we've gone and put a little bit more heat shrink and a little bit more solder, a little bit more of a better connection from what pulled out. We found that the turning radius, as you turn, there's actually tension applied onto the cabling, so we kind of pulled some of the tie wraps out and moved the slack cabling around the bike. We've gone, we broke the levers, so we went and changed them with OEM Honda replacement levers, so they fit pretty good. We got the clutch lever there, and we have the brake lever there, so you guys can replace the levers with any OEM Honda parts. Pretty simple. Or like we had the direct replacement, the cheapy aftermarket guys, but the exact replica of OEM. I just spec'd it back to 2008 Honda, which is essentially what most of these parts are based off of. Not a lot of changes from, I'd say, like 03 to 13 for those hard parts, like levers and handlebars and mounts and triple clamps, that sort of stuff. So a lot of this stuff is interchangeable, right? Like everybody was asking. We have I had one dude asking about the battery, how easy it is to take it out. So once you remove the gas tank, where there is no fuel in, of course, there's just two bolts to remove on the side, one here and one on the other side, and the battery is just contained in this tray. Has the handles on it, and you just pull your leads off from your controller and slide it right out, right like that. So it is possible. Next modification I plan to do to the bike is going to be this shifter. I do not like how there's like the double linkage on it, so I'm gonna come up with some sort of bracket coming off the direct shaft to where I won't have to have this linkage like this, whether it's backwards or whatever it is. We'll come up with some sort of different option, because this is kind of not how you want it for a dirt bike. We're noticing some other stuff, like some good stuff, some bad stuff, like anything after testing. This is what you see underneath the seat. That's your main controller there. There's your connections there on your negative terminal, right? And there's the information, right? So it's certain driver is a 72400, and it's rated for 3.75 kilovolt amps and 150 amps, 400 amp peak, and is DC 42 volts to 84 volts. So yeah, there's also this pretty cool connector here to go to your computer for some tuning. We have yet to use this, but that'll be coming up soon. We definitely are interested to do some fine tuning on this bike, as I was saying, with some issue I had with the bike cutting out when I was trying to go up a very steep hill. So something like that is not acceptable for us when we're in a racing situation. You have to be able to rely on everything and trust your bike. So we're definitely gonna keep working with this to get it better. There's like the little horn, there's your voltmeter, and here's the throttle connection that we've been having an issue with. So on the throttle connector, I'll get Alex to run you through exactly what's going on there now. So where's that actual connector piece, and show them how everything works. And that's it. Yeah, so far the chain and sprockets is still really good. The brakes, they're okay. Yeah, the brakes are all good, shock's good. bearings and bushings are all good. So what do we got, Alex?
Well, basically, your throttle cable runs into this box. As you pull the trigger, rotates that, which on the back side has a sensor, a 3-wire sensor that runs into this position here. And as you're spinning this, there's a magnet of some sort in there that is actually changing your resistance.
Yep.
Depending on what throttle position you're at.
Nice.
Sending your proper output. So some of these wires have actually kind of broken off of the sensor, so we need to look into getting something a little more heavy duty on that.
Get a new sensor and show them how you're going to solve the problem with the override.
The override, well, basically we're going to have to what was that? Fuck.
So then show them when you turn the key on how you were making it go, right?
Right. Alright, so get your key on there. Basically you just take this green wire, and when you connect it to power, you got your full throttle at that point. Once you shift it into gear, it goes up to 6,000 RPM. It's your max throttle position.
Use the clutch.
Definitely got to use the clutch when you're
So
doing
that's
that.
just to bypass and get it to go full speed. So if you're ever in a situation where you had the bike not being able to drive, you can still bypass the wiring to get you where you need to go, right? That's what I was on the trail the other day and having some issues like this, and luckily I was able to get it going. And but if you're ever in a situation you do need to practice some of these tricks and skills that you may have to use in an emergency situation. So so far from the battery, it's got a pretty good life, and really excited to put it to another test tomorrow at the track. So far the clutch, I've noticed no issues with the wet clutch. It's been really nice. Everything like that is still good. And what is this controller down here, Alex? That's our Hall, right?
Yes.
That's our Hall controller?
Controller down there, yep.
Yep, so that's the other controller. And could you explain those junctions back here, Alex?
Well, this is the junction here that runs down to the Hall sensor to control your outputs to the motor. And this here junction runs up to your display, your voltmeter, any sort of brake lockout that's built into it. Your horn's going to likely run through that, your key, ignition, whatever. All your kill switches, you got e-bike mode and fast mode basically.
Yeah.
On the other side here, I believe we got there, that's for a high beam, low beam, if you get the light option on it,
yeah.
And your horn.
Nice.
That pretty much covers all of those connections.
All right, and we'll make a little video of us slamming it back together, time lapse. So that's about all we can say about the bike. Some of the cables are kind of rubbing a little funny. It's just there's some kinks to work out with the bike. Overall, what do you say, Alex? Like what, 7, 8 out of 10? Like it's not bad for what it is.
Yeah, I give it a solid 7 out of 10. It definitely, like you say, need to work out some of the kinks.
The bike is not claiming to be the Stark for 20,000. This is the half price option, so you have a couple issues to deal with, and you save 10 grand. So it's all up to your personal needs and what you want to work with, what you're willing to accept. If you're willing to accept the suspension being a little softer and the brakes being a little bit weaker, or if you're absolutely needing the premium product, then of course that's where the personal opinion and needs are met, and the price reflects that. Show the cable throttle, right, to see how it's like a normal one. So the throttle is just able to be replaced with any throttle, as it's a normal cable throttle. So I kind of think that's a pretty cool option. But other than that, see you on the next video. Have a great day.